right, so if you haven't heard, there is a civil war going on at Chelsea right now. Very, very not confusing. But yeah, just the timing of this really, really sucks. Yeah, very badly. So to kind of give us a baseline of what's going on, I'm gonna read some of the blurbs the Athletic dropped, kind of on the situation, kind of laying out some areas and points that Boehly and Eghbali and Clearlake. Those are kind of the two separate sides. Boehly being, we'll call that just Party A right now, and Eghbali and Clearlake being on the other side of that. They have an agreement to work together, but yeah, it seems like both sides kind of looking to buy each other out and take full ownership stake of the club. So, kind of start off reading just a few points on where this this professional beef is occurring. Um, so, a fundamental cultural difference in how the Premier League club, being Chelsea, should operate, with Clearlake and Boehly each believing the other has um, sought to unduly influence sporting decisions. Okay, the decision to mutually part ways with head coach Mauricio Pochettino at the end of last season, which exposed the first public fault lines between Boehly and the club's leadership structure. The lack of tangible progress in the stadium project over the last few years, with the club not okay, whatever. That's I don't believe this one. With the club not yet resolved on a rebuild of Stamford Bridge or moving to nearby site Earl's Court. I think that's just one they're using. But back to the issue explicitly. Um, yeah, I think when you kind of look at the two sides, it's very natural just to say, okay, Bully kind of his transfer reign ended January, January 2003, beginning 2003. Um, and then just judge the transfers before then and after then. I think that's a little unfair because this is a project that obviously works in stages. So each window kind of represents a new stage, which represents a new process that you can't. It's kind of hard to kind of compare the two directly. If you wanted to do so in that manner, I think when you look at this situation, I think it's just roles and who you trust where. I think Eghbali has been a great support to Paul and Stanley and Stewart, and kind of supporting them from a financial end on just our transfer deals. Going on through these windows, and I think while Bully's reign as head of transfers, quote unquote, it didn't go well. I think he kind of represents the ownership figure that can be media facing, kind of not definitely not as good as Roman was. Roman was all that media facing, to be honest, but not the same stature as Roman was, of course. But just can handle that role of a owner that's fan that's exposed to the fans. I think it's that role is like incredibly important. I think when we see kind of these narratives made around the club, I think the owner is kind of the one who can really control kind of what the stature of the club is, what news gets out. Obviously, things leak, but things like that are important. They really can control how the club is appearing, kind of giving the fans honest updates on where we are. I'm not saying he does that. I'm just saying what kind of this role entails, and I think Bully is rather more fit to do so. I don't know why I said honest. I strike that honest updates on the team. I don't even know where that came from. Um, but yeah, I think Bully is kind of beats out Igbali in kind of fulfilling that role. And then when it comes to the transfers, I am comfortable at this time with Paul and Stanley and Stewart moving forward. I think we kind of just we have process there. Let's kind of stick to it and keep it going. I think the financial end, while obviously Igbali's genius, if we can call it that, I'm probably gassing a bit. His knowledge is very much appreciated, obviously, to a degree that I can't think of as a fan. I think that in that role is just if we have to decide between the two, I think we can place Boehly in that kind of ownership role, and he can really just lean um, on a team, and I think that's kind of what he wants to do. In the end, he really wants to have to find the smartest, the best, the brightest in their role and let them operate. I think, yeah, I think when looking at this situation, it is a mess. It is, I think it is, it's for sure is a mess. I think a lot of fans will try to downplay it. Um, I think why I am not as like concerned or like angry about the situation, because I think when you look at how the club was purchased for Roman, I think this situation was bound to happen, and the only thing that could delay it is winning, and we haven't been doing very much of that in recent years. So that kind of really sped up this process of owners and millionaires. Obviously, millionaires don't get satisfied easily, so when they're not winning, they're gonna want to take control and kind of steer the ship quick as possible. Understandable, but yeah, it was gonna happen for the jump. I'm sure they both sides really knew that at some point, whether it was 3, 5, 7, 10 years down the line, this conversation was gonna come up, whether it was gonna be friendly or ugly as it seems like it could get. I think, yeah, I really think when you just look at how the club was purchased, you get Clearlake, who probably didn't really have the fan facing owner that really on their team that they have. So they connect with the Todd Boehly. He can bring those aspects and obviously bring so much value of team ownership. And when you look at that and kind of combining the teams to kind of put it together, this portfolio that's appealing to Roman and his board that really love this club and aren't gonna just sell it to anybody. Obviously, these two parties are quicker to agree um, to a pleasant working relationship that probably isn't as realistic because they want Chelsea. They see kind of that bright star in front of them that's blinding them from the reality that at the end of the day they are millionaires that aren't easily satisfied and are eventually gonna want the whole thing of whatever they're part of. I think that's just in their nature. That's just how most people like that act. So yeah, really kind of not surprising when you kind of look at how everything was from the beginning. With this deal, buying it from Roman, kind of separating the way that this board was. I think the only thing, like I said, to delay it was winning, and we haven't been doing that. And now they've decided to have the Civil War now. It's a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess.